Okay, hi, it's Robin. Here we're starting with our advanced case number 3. And I just have to go through the steps and get used to going on the steps. I mean, most of it's done. It's more a question of just getting the layers, getting comfortable with the layers, taking the process going in, and knowing how to. You can't do everything. So, like, hopefully you've done things before you work on a chart and you spend a bit more time. Here, it's even we're taking 2 hours just to talk about a chart, about doing things. So, I mean, you can see in a chart, if you look at it, if you know what you're doing, you can see in a minute or so, what's going on. But then you have to take the time to work it, to see how to make it useful to the person, or what's useful for that person to see, or what does that person need to hear, more than what you want to say. So the steps are kind of a middle ground. They're just basic steps to go through, so you have your bearings and you've maintained a standard of information across it, so you have most of the main factors covered. So we cut out a lot of things to just work with the main things on the idea that the basic factors, the main factors of personal life are going to be the main factors in the horoscope. And when you're working with a consultation, you don't have to go to all the smaller aspects, all the minor things. You can add those in if you want, but if you're going to add them in, it's like you're supposed to have done the worksheets on them to take some time to think about each one in perspective to each of the other ones. So we're really trying to look at main aspects. Sometime if you do a chart and you find there's almost no major aspects, then, or like in a bucket chart or a bundle chart or things like that, the minor aspects will stand out and be more distinctly noticeable. Okay, so we're starting July 23rd, 67, Shanghai. Okay, and okay, so this is a Cancer lady, Cancer sun, the moon in Aquarius. So you have the really sensitive, emotional sun in Cancer that takes everything personally. You have the moon in Aquarius that tries to be practical, matter of fact, rational, and almost control the feelings. So it's not quite an opposition, but it's not quite, but it still has this distinction between the cardinal water Cancer drive for security and confidence, and the moon Aquarius inhibition and reserve. Okay, we can see they're both in the 8th house, 2nd house, resources, trust, business, personal resources. The ascendant Sagittarius on top of it. So the Cancer sun can be shy. The moon in Aquarius can be shy, but the Sag rising isn't going to be shy. So you have this enthusiastic personality, this multifaceted personality, and a sensitive sun that can be reacting to reacts to other people and wants to be involved or do business or whatever. And on a personal level, you have a more reserved. My personal world is more reserved. Okay, so let's just say the Cancer sun. That right now we're looking at the first is the sun, moon, and the ascendant. I just started from there. I should have probably just started from the pattern type, as we usually do. It's a seesaw pattern type, and the seesaw is above the horizon and below. Okay, so it's about, so her main energy, her sun and energy, is up above the horizon in the functional world. The personal side is down below the horizon, and just as we were talking a bit about that inhibited Aquarius, practical controlling Aquarius moon, she also has the Saturn on the IC in the 4th house. So there's a reserve or an inhibition or discontent in the personal side of things, and the need to solve things outwardly, to overcome them out in the world. Okay, and her moon phase, you look at the sun, see the opposition to where Capricorn would be. She's in the waning full moon phase. So it still is there still is like an opposition effect. It's the full moon phase. So there's a certain amount of awareness of these two sides in her life: work, business, home, security. Okay, so we're just take it. I'm just going to go a little bit further here. We're not reading the pattern types out, which goes both ways, as switches between the two. Different person at work than at home. Then you have the moon phase, which is the deja vu phase, the full moon, and seeing two sides of everything. It further accentuates the seesaw. And then we have the sun, moon, and the ascendant. The personality is Sagittarius is quite capable of integrating the two sides of talking about and being opinionated, have an opinion about things. Okay, so she is a multicultural person. She's Chinese, but she speaks really good English and works sometimes as a translator. So she has certainly a multicultural presence and a philosophical outlook. So these are piece of her IC, her motivation point is Aries, and Saturn is exactly conjuncted. So you have Saturn in the fourth house being the reserve of the home, and the IC is more Saturn in Aries is awkward because it's stop start. Wait a second, gotta go. Wait a second, gotta go. There's a stop start. Restlessness to that Saturn in Aries, or tendency to fight authority, to have on-off things. And the IC is motivated to do things, motivated to be action, motivated, I'm going to take action, I'm motivated to do my own action. And Saturn's there, maybe I can't do this, I got to do this. This is holding back, I got to do this. So for the inadequacies or the insecurities at home, she would want to break away and do things on her own. Okay, to build up her own world, because it's, yeah, so even with her moon in Aquarius and the tendency to be reserved at home, she left her country, Sag rising, and ventured out to another country, established it, had learned the second language, built her own world up. You see, the sun, Jupiter in that eighth house, the sun, Jupiter's in Leo, the sun's there. They're both. It's almost like they're the answer, or the way to work with reaching out, traveling, going someplace, and the Sag rising would buy into that, to try and go somewhere where I can be more meaningful at, rather than stay back where I'm being held back or being restricted. So this, just a few things to look at it. Her main aspects with the sun, I'm going ahead of this before the points, but I'm just here, so I'm just going to do this. The sun squares the Mars. You have need someone who's strong, who's going to be active, going to want to prove things, want to try to make things happen. That sun's setting. It's independent. Daylight increase. The Cancer, the daylight is greater. Nighttime's increasing. We'll get to these ones, but there's more squaring this, the need to prove oneself. I got to do this. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to work. I'm going to do business. I'm going to get the job. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. Let me do this for you. That's that strong. So that's a strong side. Could be angry if unfrustrated or whatever, but that's there. The other thing is her moon is squared Neptune and opposed to Jupiter. So her lifestyle fights the understanding, and there's complications. There's guilt or confusions from the past that she had. So she, like, the moon has the worry side in Aquarius, or serious side. It's in the second house. So the moon in the second house is changeable money, changeable resources. It fluctuates up and down, up and down. That's not going to suit the moon in Aquarius. I need to have this, I need to have this. So there's the need to work to make these happen. And since she has the discontent, the Saturn and the IC, she doesn't want to do without things. She's going to go, her Mars rules is I got to do something. Mars is up in the 10th house. She's going to want to work. I'm going to do this to make my own money, so I'm not responsible. I don't have to rely on the past or on the family. So, okay, so the moon, the Neptune hitting the moon, Jupiter moon, there's a tendency to exaggerate or to get into codependencies and have complicated feelings. Well, in a way, being in another, this would have been true whether she was just stayed in China or not, but being in a second country, having complicated family scenario, that's perhaps good more than a smothering scenario. So you can see how she might have wanted to get out, or at least on the icy. I got to get out of here. I'm going to go to another country. I'm going to make my own world rather than stay here. Okay, so now, oops. Okay. So the have the seesaw between what have I got to do? Where's my home? Having these two sides. We have the waning full moon, we have the Cancer, the Aquarius moon, and the Sag rising. So you see that's water, air, fire. We didn't see the earth element. We see more of the water. So just on the first impression, you'll see the practical side. You get the Aquarius moon, serious feelings, Cancer, strong sensitivities, and the Sagittarius, the enthusiastic projection. Okay, so her identity to be able to live in another country, even though the Cancer sun and the moon Aquarius might not be inclined to, the Sag rising could identify to relating to other people through other languages and things like that. And we look at the points: 1 I am, 3 I feel, 1 I will, 3 I analyze, 1 I balance, 2 I desire, 1 I understand, 2 I know. So I feel and I analyze at 2 strong points: the Cancer, the Virgo, the most points. So there's these 3 points: Venus, Pluto up in Virgo, and the Cancer, the Sun, and the Mercury in Cancer. Okay. Now, okay. So when you look at the daylight increasing, darkness increasing, you see right away there's a strong amount, that 11 points darkness increasing, 3 points daylight increasing. So the momentum is distinctly towards belonging, towards doing things with others, for others, trying to belong more. That's the darkness increasing. Trying to be more responsible, belong more, to do things for others more than for oneself. That's the momentum. The daylight greater, night darkness is greater. Still, there's 8 points more in light in spring. In the daylight is greater, half of the zodiac, 6 more. So she's still a strong individual. She has her own way, but she's momented. I'm going to be me, but let me do this for you. I'm going to be me. I'm going to work with this. She has that implication between these two. When you look at the okay, we'll go cardinal, fixed, mutable, even. 5, 5, 5 cardinal, 5 fixed, 4 mutable. Not my bit of everything. You saw it with the ascendant, sun, moon, ascendant, cardinal, fixed, mutable. She has all 3. We look at the seasons: 2 winter, 1 spring, 7 summer, 4 autumn. So you see, summertime here's the most active time. Most active time, in the fall next. Okay, so we look at the elements: 3 fire, 3 air, 3 earth, 5 water. All of them are there to a certain degree, noticeable, but water is the strongest, the emotional, Cancer sun, taking things personally, being sensitive. Masculine, feminine, 8 feminine, more reflective than projective. Okay, so she's more reflective in her own strong, independent, in her own independent way, but she's reflective about what she can do to be part of others, to belong to others, with the nighttime, the darkness increasing, to be involved with others more. It's a good thing for business. Sun in the 8th house. That's it. We look at the rulerships. The sun rules 1 planet, the moon rules 3 planets, Mercury rules 3 planets, Venus 1, Mars 3, Jupiter 1, Saturn 2. So the moon, the mind, Mercury, the feelings, the mind, and the action, all are the 3 strong planets. So if anything hits either of those 3 planets, it's going to have a fairly strong effect on the rulers and onto her chart. Okay. So when we get to the houses, we're trying to see if the points are the same or different, or how they align up around it. Here there's 4 rising, 8 setting. Before we had 3 daylight increasing, 11 nighttime increasing. So we have the nighttime, the moving for others, and the setting is the more responding to others than the projecting. So her strength is in her ability to react and interact with others.